health experts recommend standing up at the desk, leaving office, and never coming back. I mean, at certain jobs, that would definitely be very helpful, because there are jobs that just negatively impact your mental health so much that it will definitely affect your physical health. Because as much as people like pretending it's separate, it's really not. But I feel like just standing up at your desk occasionally, like if you have that option, would already help. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. It has been like 10 months since we've done anti-work memes. I've also included a few stories. Those will be at the end. But yeah, let's check out some things that might be relatable and or frustrating, because we like doing that on this channel. But you know the deal. Before we continue, y'all need to get hydrated. So grab some water, or some tea, or some iced coffee, and then we'll look at some memes. Are you hydrated? Good, let's go. You somehow managed to win $500 million. How are you sitting in your manager's office waiting to put in your 2-week notice? Personally, I feel like it would either be a 2, a 3, or a 5. Because I really like sitting cross-legged, but also just like leaning on one side is also super comfortable. But I feel like it would probably be 5, because I really like sitting like this, you know. But yeah, I feel like definitely, like, I don't even, listen, don't get me wrong, I really don't hate my job. I do find people very frustrating to deal with though. And in work environments, you can't always be authentic or tell these people your honest opinion. So I do think I would definitely be handing in my notice. Although, since I'm not in the US, we don't actually have 2-week notices. You have, I don't know, somewhere between 1 month and 3 months, kind of depending on your company and how long you've been with them, really. But yeah, I feel like 5 would be it. Wow, the fortune cookies here really are more accurate. How in the hell could a man enjoy being awakened at 6:30 AM by an alarm clock, leap out of bed, dress, force feed, shed, piss, brush teeth and hair, fight traffic to get to a place where you essentially made lots of money for somebody else and were asked to be grateful for the opportunity to do so? Because I think a lot of us agree that work can be meaningful. But not like this. Not like this. Listen, it's just, it's hard to find meaning in that, you know? And for a while, I tried being optimistic. It's like, okay, no, it doesn't actually matter which job you have. It just matters like what your perspective is on the job. And to an extent, it can help make a job seem more meaningful. But still, this every day until you're like 65, 70, maybe it'll be pushed back even further by the time I reach that age. So like, how are we supposed to find meaning in that? At the slight chance we might make it far enough up the corporate ladder so that we earn a lot of money. It's hard to see meaning in that, you know? Okay, your salary is just your company's monthly subscription of you. Then who gave them my discount coupon code? Because that's literally most of us. Because the thing about minimum wage is that it should absolutely be a livable wage and not a scraping to get by wage, a livable wage. And it's not even like a scraping by wage for a lot of people, because as soon as you have kids or whatever the situation is, so many factors can make it impossible to actually live on minimum wage. So can we delete the coupon codes for monthly wages, you know? Okay, life and work. Is this your idea of balanced? Yeah, balance doesn't have to mean 50-50. And honestly, I kind of think that the idea of balance will look wildly different to different people. Like, if you're generally someone who really enjoys your job and finds a lot of meaning in that and therefore want to spend a lot of time on work, that's cool. Make sure you're not an absolute workaholic and literally just downright neglect everything else, because that's still not healthy. Even if you do technically enjoy what you're doing, it can still burn you out. But I feel like for a lot of people, realistically speaking, it would probably look more like this. But the fact that minimum wage, or definitely most people, not even those just making minimum wage, that most people are underpaid, kind of makes this difficult. But yeah, balance doesn't actually mean 50-50 in this case, you know? Okay, to whoever is pleasing googly eyes all over the office, please stop. Thank you. But why? It is, listen, if it's like an office where customers regular come in and you want to be taken serious, okay, cool. That I get. Then you would like want everything to be looking, you know, respectable and serious, because you want these customers to take you serious, or business partners to take you serious. But if it's just some random office, who cares? Let these people have fun while they're working. They're suffering enough. Like, let them at least have fun with googly eyes. Because if I go to an office and I see like someone put googly eyes on a random coffee mug or something, or on the fridge, listen, I would think it's hilarious, and I really wouldn't mind. No one wants to work anymore. No one wants to work for you anymore. It is an important distinction. Because while, yes, this entire subreddit is very anti-grind, or actually more anti-exploitation, because I feel like a lot of us really wouldn't mind working. We wouldn't mind if we were like appropriately compensated regarding a lot of other factors, like housing prices, everything else, like the cost of living in general is just going up so much, whereas like wages and salaries just aren't. You know, like if you would properly compensate people and make sure that it's like a healthy working environment, honestly, a lot of us wouldn't mind so much to go to work and to do our job and to like put effort in our job. But especially if you're one of those bosses or managers that treats your employees like absolute crap, or it's just really, really toxic, then yeah, no one's going to want to work for you specifically anymore. Because like in general, that isn't really the case. Because the subreddit anti-work isn't really anti-working. It's just anti-work in the absolute hellscape of a system that is in place, you know? Okay, the starting pay is $40,000. Later it can go up to $80,000. Okay, I'll start later then. Because saying this is so meaningless, because you know that when people say it can go up to 80,000 later, it won't. It just won't. Because they'll always find like a reason to be like, okay, no, but you're not performing high enough, or like the things in the company change, we can't like give you that much of a pay raise anymore, whatever it is. You're not going to get the 80,000. So yeah, if you know you're worth more, then don't accept, you know? Hi everyone, sorry I'm late, I just fucking hate it here. Okay, you have to stop saying that every day, Jessica. Does she? Because I feel like Jessica's the type of person that's gonna come to her and be like, I fucking hate this, but whatever, let's get this over with, and actually like still do her job. Because otherwise he would have fired her already. But Jessica can definitely say that. Yeah. He might maybe phrase some more constructive criticism and see if that helps, you know? But if it doesn't, it's totally okay if you just say this, Jessica. Me, getting dressed to go to work when there's an 8-year-old YouTuber that made 26 million this year. Listen, this is not even what I mean by the system is broken, but good for him. I hope he's not a selfish idiot and is actually using that money for good and not just hoarding it like he's some dragon, you know, because dragons are cool. But actually acting like a dragon in real life and just hoarding wealth, that's not cool. We don't like that. We really don't. When a market says they're a capitalist, but you ain't got no capital, Lieutenant Dan. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Why would you? Because you want to be like, okay, no, but if I work hard enough, I might actually be a millionaire one day. Because listen, technically, yes. Right? Like, of course you can. Some people manage to do it. But you're aware that most people don't. That a lot of people have that aspiration of wanting to become like super rich or whatever. And most of them will never actually make it. But sure, call yourself a capitalist if you want. Employer, your time off request was denied. Me, well, you gotta be short-staffed. Listen, I used to, it's kind of funny looking back now. Like, I used to be so against it. Like, calling it sick if you're not actually sick. But listen, it's ridiculous. Like, if you, especially if you live like somewhere where you don't have that much time off, because in Germany you have relatively a lot of days off per year that you can sort of pick pretty freely depending on the company you live in, where you're gonna take them. But actually, it's still not enough. But yeah, especially if you live somewhere where you don't, or especially if you keep having your employer deny it, and you actually have a really important thing in your private life that you need to take care of, or you just really cannot deal with work that particular day. Honestly, I know a lot of people don't take it serious, but I feel like taking days off to take care of your mental health would definitely also be considered a sick day, right? Because you're not feeling well, you know, so you need to take care of that. It doesn't actually matter if it's a cold or if it's your mental health, you know? Boss who doesn't know your name would like to see more commitment from you. Literally my ex-boss. He knew my name, but I had this trainee and he either kept calling her the wrong name or didn't know her name at all. He would always just point at me and be like, yeah, you and I would have to say the name because he never knew it. And she was with us for 3 years until I left, because she was done with like her apprenticeship, and that's why I left, because I was like kind of responsible for training her, and I was like, I can't deal with this shit anymore. You're done with your apprenticeship. You made it through. I'm leaving. Yeah, he still didn't know her name by then. And then she left like not even a year after me, because she was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this shit any longer either. Because I really wish not knowing names was like the worst thing this dude has done. Okay, normally funny memes aren't that funny. And to be fair, this one isn't that funny either, but it hits home pretty hard because I'll just lower the quality of my work until my pay feels fair. Because again, the cost of living and compensating the workers appropriately, you know. But also, if you're in a company or in a department where you know, like, even if you're trying your hardest to be motivated, because you don't want to be that person that doesn't do anything at that job because I technically like that job, but you just have like coworkers in your department and you're just looking at them literally just chatting and not doing anything all day. Guess what? If that's being tolerated really because your manager doesn't care or doesn't know how to put his foot down, then yeah, you're probably just gonna end up lowering your quality of work because you don't really see the reason why you would try to do everything and keep being requested to do more because hey, you're working, it's cool, you can do more. Then yeah, this will definitely happen. Capitalists shooting workers' rights, shooting salaries, shooting clean drinking water, shooting breathable air, shooting people's savings, shooting affordable housing. Why do young people hate capitalism? I feel like we could extend this list, but I feel like that would make it even more depressing. But yeah, basically, this is why it's ridiculous when workers actually say they're capitalists, because have you looked outside? Have you like seen the world? Have you like seen the state this world is in because of actual capitalists who hoard like their dragons? No? Okay, maybe go outside and then we'll talk again. I worked 80 hours this week. I'm on my grind. The worker has fallen in love with a system that exploits them. Because yeah, chances are you can either do this long enough until you're completely burned out, or you can do this long enough and then at some point realize that it's just not worth it and then stop. Because guess what? The chance that you're actually gonna like become super rich or actually feel like you have enough money is never gonna happen. Because the thing about capitalists is they don't think they have enough money. They always want more money, even if they have plenty of money. But if you're on that mindset of, okay, I need more, I need to grind harder to earn more money, to become whatever. Listen, with that mindset, you're never actually going to be satisfied, because in your mind, you'll always be like, no, but I have to work harder. This is not enough. Which might still lead in burnout one day. Yeah, but good luck to you, I guess. Manager, meet the new employee. Tell him how great it is to work here. Okay, listen, if someone would say this to me on the first day of a job, I would be worried. And depending on how much I desperately need money in that situation, I might just quit on the spot. Because listen, if that's how you greet your new employees, it already tells them so much of how it's not actually a great place to work there. Because if you know it's a good place to work at, if you know it's like a great situation, if you know like the work is chill or whatever, you don't actually need to convince your new workers. You can just like greet them normally and, you know, give them a nice little onboarding so they can like catch up to what they need to do. Then you don't actually need to convince them how great it is, because they'll see it for themselves. So, you know. Do you promise that you will love us unconditionally and value your employee above your friends and family? Lol, no, I just want to make money. Interviewer, look me in the eyes and tell me you would jump on a live hand grenade to protect this Wendy's. Yeah, listen. It do seem like that for a lot of jobs. Like, especially at my old job, this was kind of the, okay, no, but it's such a great honor to be working for me in this company because we're literally just the best. We're like a family here. All the tropes, listen. We don't need to talk about it. It's just so cringy when bosses say that. And I wish it was literally only cringy and not super worrying. Manager, about to give me a 5% hike. Leaving the company after getting a better offer with a 150% hike. Yeah, I mean, listen, they're trying. They're just not trying very hard sometimes. $15 an hour is not a livable wage. Changing my mind. I feel like 10 or 20 years ago, $15 an hour would definitely have been a livable wage, because that's what I mean. Just barely scraping by and constantly being worried about where your next meal is going to come from, or if you're actually going to be able to pay your rent, or that you're completely going to be fucked if your car breaks down or something, is not a livable wage. That's a barely scraping by wage that we should not have as minimum wage. You know, yeah. 2000. Go to college or you'll be flipping burgers. 2008. What do you mean you can't find a job? Is flipping burgers too good for you? 2016, you want $15 an hour for flipping burgers? Millennials are so entitled. 2021, why does no one want to flip burgers anymore? I feel like a lot of people wouldn't actually have problems working in the service industry if it weren't for all the entitled dipshits that go to eat somewhere and act like they have never heard of manners in their life ever because they're just so rude and just like screaming at their employees there or like the serving staff or whatever. Listen, I feel like a lot of these standpoints are just weird. Listen, thinking someone is better or worse because they have a job like flipping burgers or because they work in a bank, it's super weird. Listen, we're all just trying to make money, to live our lives in peace. And all jobs are kind of important, that's why they exist, you know. But treating people and places like absolute shit because, oh, it's just a service job is also really weird take. Going to work on 4 hours of sleep because I try to salvage some sense of freedom by staying up late. It's showtime. But listen, I feel like too many people actually get this. Because, is it called, wait, I can't remember the name. Revenge bedtime procrastination, is that it? But it's kind of that on a constant basis because two-day weekends, where you also probably just have to do a lot of errands and stuff because you don't get shit done during the week because you come home and you basically have to cook and go to bed. Yeah, that's not it. That's really not it. Record profits with no increase in market page are stolen wages. Yeah, literally. If you have a company update and it's like, yeah, no, but we're performing so well this year and like we're on a really good track. Okay, and do you have something else to say about that? Because you can't keep saying, oh yeah, we're on a really good track and we're like making more income and all the goals we set for like increasing our income, we've hit all these goals and then just not increase wages. You know, that seems illegal but isn't, you know? Basically what I mean is it's immoral, I guess. Okay, and now it's time for some stories. Let's see what we find, eh? My girlfriend got fired for dating me. We're both 17, and I work in the deli department and she was in the bakery department of the same store. Management had no idea we were dating and just assumed we were friends. Well, the other day she walked to work with me on her day off and kissed me by the entrance, and the store manager saw it and fired her. She said that employees can't date. We've been together nearly 4 years and lived together prior to us both getting the job here. She was fired instead of me because my department is understaffed and I nearly quit on the spot anyways. She was an amazing worker and we never kissed at work or let our relationship get in the way of productivity, and it's bullshit to fire her when it's not even a new development, like we met at work and then started dating. We're both pissed and I'm considering finding a new job. Edit, I just realized something really odd with the situation. The meat department manager is married to one of the bakery girls as well, and that's public knowledge at the store. Yeah, that's... what the hell. As long as you're not like being inappropriate at work, because yeah, if you would like constantly kiss at work, like in like the store or something, that would be inappropriate in a work situation. If you would kiss like shortly in passing in like the staff's like kitchen or whatever break room, who really cares? Like as long as you're not being inappropriate. But neither of you have ever let it show at work apparently, and they're still firing her for kissing on her day off. That should really not be legal, and I feel like in Germany it really wouldn't. But yeah, maybe go sue the shit out of them because that seems really rude. Boss decided she doesn't want us to have a chair anymore. I work at a pretty low traffic store. More than half the time there is no customer inside. Most of the time it's one employee working at a time, but sometimes there are overlapping shifts. Well, I'm first shift today, and when I got here in the morning, I noticed that our nice and relatively new swivel chair was gone. weird. I asked our janitor if he knew where it was. He said that Big Boss told him to get rid of it, that he doesn't want a chair behind the counter anymore. He said he already threw it away. Now, mind you, this chair was actually pretty nice, and one of my coworkers bought it with his own money. We used to have a different chair, but another one of our coworkers broke it. It was just thrown in the garbage. Now, we do have a stool that we can sit on, but it's not nearly as comfortable, and if there's more than one employee here, the one without it is standing all the time. I don't understand why employees are so anti-sitting down. I mean, usually no one's in here, and even if there are, customers don't give a shit. Sometimes I would even sit in the chair to help me reach stuff behind the counter, because I'm not good at bending. It's so frustrating. Why do they do this? Yeah, I can't answer that. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Or if you like work at trade fairs and people are like, no, don't sit down. Like, listen, of course it seems more engaging if you're like standing somewhere. But listen, customers, if they want to talk to you or if they have questions, they will talk to you even if you're sitting down. Because as long as you pay attention and you're sitting down and you see a customer like maybe looking at some product of yours, like they might have questions, or like at least you like still greet them and you're still polite, customers won't care if you're sitting or if you're standing there. Because most customers would rather you just kind of slowly approach and be like, hey, do you need help with anything? Like, feel free to ask any questions if you have any, versus just like jumping on them and just like pulling them somewhere to show them stuff, you know? Yeah, anyways. People sitting down is not as dramatic as employees think it is. Like, listen, of course you don't want your employees to sit there like and just not pay attention to customers at all, obviously. But taking a chair is not the solution to that. I'm finally putting in my notice after several months of unfair treatment. So I work at a totally generic kid stuffed animal store, you know the one. I'm German, I really don't, but that's okay. I'm finally putting in my notice today. I loved my job when I first started. Helping kids have a fun experience was awesome. And then I got offered a promotion, which I accepted. What I didn't know is that it would lead to the rapid decline of my mental health. I had to stay in the store until 10 PM trying to get everything on the closing list done. I've been requested I do the job of 3 different people in light of us not having enough managers. My hours have been cut, and most importantly, my manager has been cyberstalking me. Yep, followed me into a public Discord service and has been screenshotting anything negative I could possibly say about work and reporting me to our DM. I know she may see this too. I have had it. I've had a month of nothing but you did X thing wrong. This wasn't done. 30 minutes is enough time to close. No sitting down while closing. I am done. For a store that employs lots of us who have chronic pains, you sure have a grudge against chairs. The only reason I'm putting in a notice and not no call no showing today is because I need money. Hope I can find a better, less hateful job for a while. Wish me luck. If things go south today, I'll update. I am very upset. I understand the sub a lot more now. What? Okay. I know managers kind of like pushing their employees, and sometimes they don't realize how demotivating it is rather than actually motivating when they say stuff like, okay, but you need to get this many things done. Because of course they want to like kind of put a goal that motivates you to like actually be productive and not just like sit around on your ass all day. Kind of get this, but this is not the way to go. And this isn't even okay, yeah, maybe he just like doesn't recognize how they're coming off to you. This is just weird. Because A, if you don't hire enough people and expect your workers to pull the work of several people, you can't actually reduce their hours. And you can't actually constantly yell at them for not being fast enough, because how can one person be as fast as if 3 people did the thing, you know? Like, how is one person supposed to do it just as fast? That makes sense, of course, yeah. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about that, except I wish you luck, that you find a job that isn't gonna make you this miserable. You know, because we all have to work, but honestly, doing something that you really enjoy doing would of course be ideal, but at least doing something that doesn't make you dread going to work would be a good place to start, you know? But either way, apart from that, there were a lot of memes about unions and getting unionized. So, you know, just an idea, if you can, to go in that direction. But apart from that, I guess that was all the memes and stories for today. This is probably one of the rantiest videos I do, although I probably could say that about a lot of videos. But either way, I feel like it's important that we do this every once in a while. You know, so I will definitely be back to the subreddit at some point. Might be another 10 month, I'm not sure. But either way, I hope you enjoyed our time together, and I hope you're hydrated. If not, go drink something now, and I'll be back in a couple days with my next video.